CGB! I've got an interesting question for you, my friend. How does Magic handle censorship of cards?
Are you trying to get me canceled?
Well, let's make ad revenue first, then you can get canceled.
Yeah, hold on. First, a message from these sponsors. Get paid. Okay, now, back from getting paid, how does Magic handle censorship? There are a handful of cards that were produced in the 90s that are banned for reasons. Reasons.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sensitivity reasons, we'll say.
Okay.
So the way that Magic handled it is they waited until 2020 and then banned them.
Oh, I see. That's one way to handle it. So one thing you may not know about our game is that many, and I mean many, of the cards in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game actually come over to us from Asia censored, as a matter of fact, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a children's card game, and we can't be, showing children all of these, very just, graphic or suggestive, things, right? We have to protect the children, and so this is actually a video suggestion that came from our last video, and it was, I had a lot of thumbs up, actually, as a matter of fact. I think it had, 1,000 thumbs ups for a comment, which is kind of crazy. So I am going to be showing you the uncensored version of a card, and your goal today is to guess what they had to do to censor it for us outside of Asia. Are you ready?
Oh, God. Okay. So I can blame the comments for this.
Correct.
That's what I heard.
We blame the comments for everything, to be fair.
Does your group have a name? Are they the Cimooooooites or anything like that?
I've referred to them before as the Samoans, which is very funny, but that's the most I've ever done. They could be the O's too. I still need to make a cereal one of these days. Anyway, all right. Here's your first card. We're not going to be showing you a card, as a matter of fact. We're going to be showing you the art, and I'll show you the card after the fact. And if you want to read the card after the fact, that's fine. But you should know this one. I think I've showed this card to you before.
Yeah. What's this do?
It's something you really like to do. It's your favorite thing to do.
Draw 3 cards, discard a card?
Discard 2 cards.
Two cards. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember the name, but I do remember
it is Graceful
that
Charity.
I would have liked it.
It is
and
Graceful
this got censored.
This got censored. Why would this get censored?
This got censored. I already hate this video. What are we talking about here? This got censored. What did they remove for? Okay, they removed it going east to west. Is that correct?
East to west, correct. I remember they're censoring it for children specifically. So
for children.
You may not know this. So Yu-Gi-Oh!, if you actually read the manga, is very dark. It is very gory. There's a lot of very dark killing and a lot of things that are not something you would expect out of a children's show. So when they actually ported the anime over as well, a lot of the stuff in the anime is actually censored too. So it's very much in line with the fact of the cards, because they wanted to, they positioned this as a product for children. They had to censor the artwork on the cards as well. So you have to think, what would they do? Why would they have to censor a card? And you have to put yourself in a different mindset for this video. Yeah,
a very different one. Okay. What did they censor from this card? Is nail polish taboo for children? I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense to me. Is tying that specific knot just too complicated? Let me think.
Oh, this video is gonna rock. I'm so excited for this.
Oh my goodness. Her blue eyes a problem? Are they intimidating? What's going on?
I don't know.
This is absolutely wild. I'm going to go with the halo. I'm going to say that they removed the halo because they didn't, I don't know, want to push some kind of a religious ideology of any specific kind for kids. Maybe they wanted to keep full-on religion out of the game. I'm going to go with the halo.
You are correct. Go ahead and look at the censored version of Graceful Charity. As you can see, there is no halo, but you still get to draw 3 cards and discard 2, which makes it one of the craziest cards ever printed, one of the most iconic cards for anyone who plays old school Yu-Gi-Oh! But yes, the halo was in fact removed, and you are right on the money. So any sort of religious iconography or symbolism from any card, which there's a lot. But there's an entire Wikipedia article, which is our version of like Wikipedia for Yu-Gi-Oh. There's an entire page that, I kid you not, has hundreds of cards that are censored in the game. And it is something as simple as just like removing a halo from a card. But you'd be surprised, a lot of cards have halos because we have fairies in our game. And a lot of angels as well. And so those halos get removed. And so I thought this would be fun because Magic is like a more mature game from my understanding in terms of like who the target demographic was, because it's coming from like a Dungeons and Dragons audience and such. So something as simple as like a halo, you're like, there's no way they would do something like that, right? But here we are.
Yeah, I hate being right. I might be good at this. We'll see. We'll see. I might be good at this, and I'm not going to enjoy being good at this.
Okay, here's your next card.
Did you say fairies have halos?
Yes, some of them.
Some fairies have halos. Interesting. All right, well, let's go. Okay, we're in a graveyard.
We are in a graveyard.
We're in a graveyard. There's some gas in this graveyard. There's a release of gas from a septic plant behind the cemetery somewhere, or a zombie is really letting a lot go. And something from this got censored. Are we going to stick with the religious theme? Are we going to take the crosses out?
But it is a graveyard.
It is a graveyard. How do you show it's a graveyard? I think if you take the cross off the headstone, it's still kind of clear. But then you have the headstones that are just crosses. So it's like, what do you remove? It becomes a field with a weird purple fume if you remove the crosses, and then there's the headstones that are more of the different shape, right? And does that say graveyard enough? I think it does. But I don't even know if keeping it functional is part of the plan. So what else is there they could remove? Did they have to remove the gas? The nasty fumes? I don't know why they would. That doesn't make any sense to me. Or the trees, or the clouds that look like mini tornadoes are happening. I don't think that's necessary. So you are, see, this is the part I don't like, Cimo. You just showed me one with the halo. So of course I'm going to think it's the crosses.
Would I ever do something like this, CGB? Would I ever try to lead you astray?
You would. You absolutely
I would, 100%.
It's a children's game.
Children's game.
What does a child, if they are saying a child looks at this, what does a child think? Maybe they did remove the purple cloud because it looks like a fart and that would make children giggle. Am I crazy? Am I crazy?
I don't know. Are you?
Am I really crazy? Okay. Oh my gosh. I mean, obviously it makes sense that it be the crosses.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the cross on the far right. I'm going to go with the cross on the headstone on the left. And I'm going to keep the crosses that have the little, have the angles, right? They're a little different. They're not like the classic Christian cross.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with the one on the right and the left, because the other ones, the ends of them, they look like a different item altogether. So that's my answer.
Okay. And you would be half correct. They actually changed all of them. Give this card a look here.
Call of the Haunted. Yep. Okay. Okay, yeah.
So they just straight up changed all of the crosses to tombstones.
All of them.
You still get the same vibe. Give this card a read if you want to.
All right. Call of the Haunted is a trap, and it says activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When the target is destroyed, destroy this card. It's a reanimate. Another reanimate.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. This was actually a very powerful card back in the day. This card got banned, actually, I believe, for a very short period of time, as a matter of fact, because they it was just a very good card. And so another iconic old card. We're going to be seeing a few of those. But yeah, so you're half right. You get a half point for that one.
So even crosses that look like windmills get the axe. Crazy.
You're starting to learn. You're starting to learn.
All right.
All right. Next up, this is actually one of your favorite cards that I've shown you. So let's see if you can figure this one out.
Okay. All right. I remember this. Oh, yeah. Why did we censor anything here? Nothing to see.
No, what did we censor here?
What did we censor? I think you told me.
Did I tell you?
Did. I think you did. And now I'm trying to remember. Now I'm trying to remember what it was.
It'd be even funnier if I did tell you and you just haven't remembered.
I know. but that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
Dude, it's coming someday. You know, give enough thumbs up and Cimo will make a video showing me the exact same cards of the first video we ever did together to see if I can remember if they're banned or not.
That would be interesting, right? Because it's like the culmination of everything you've learned over our time together to see if you could actually figure it out. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
And yeah, annual exams or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Anyway, this card. I mean, there's a lot going on.
There's
a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
There's a few things you could point to as problems.
What would those be, CGB? What would those be?
You were, yeah, okay. She's riding a needle. That's something. That's something going on.
That's not suggestive at all.
It's the wink. The wink could mean a few things.
Okay.
As a, I think most guys, when winked to in this manner, will make an assumption about what that means. But I don't think that alone has to do it. I don't.
Okay.
There are crosses in this art. Kind of the red cross, right?
There are.
Yep. Is there too much religion in this? Do we have to remove the red cross? Is that too religious? That can't be it, right? We talk about like angels, and do we have to remove an angel's wings? No, we didn't do it from the last one. We don't have to do that. So we've got the is that what they call a tube top? We got the bare shoulder approach.
Okay.
Is that too much for kids? That might be too much for kids.
Maybe.
And we got the kind of short dress shorts outfit. We got a little bit of leg at the bottom. We got some leg. We got some thigh at the bottom, right? That could be a bit much. So I am between covering up the shoulders and covering up the thigh, and maybe it's both. Maybe you just extend the outfit. Maybe you extend the nurse's outfit to be a more traditional nurse's outfit. You cover the shoulders, you cover the leg, and maybe they get away with the rest of it. So I do think you told me, and I can't remember, so I'm very frustrated because it might be something totally different, and I'm supposed to be like, oh, well, yeah, of course we can't cover the waifus. What am I talking about? Oh God, what if they felt they had to change the color of what's in the needle? Because
maybe.
What if they're just like green? The green is too dangerous or something. What would the green imply that would be too nasty? Drugs? It would imply drugs. Maybe the needle's about drugs.
Okay.
Maybe the needle is about drugs. That's interesting.
You're stumped on this one.
So, you could go the sexual element because it's in your face, right? Everybody who sees this, we know what's going on. But the drugs angle,
that is different.
That's a little more subtle because it's not the first thing you think of. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the drugs angle. I'm going to say they changed something about the syringe, either the color of it or the needle point. I'm going to say they changed the syringe. I'm going to do it. They can't censor the waifus. How will they sell their cards? It's the syringe.
Final answer.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember what you said about they can't censor the waifus for a later part of this video.
Oh, good.
This one is actually going to shock you what they censored. You're incorrect. Take a look at the actual artwork.
It's the cross.
It's the cross. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? I'm going to read this from the Wikipedia article. For this card's international release, the red crosses in the artwork's background and on the monster's hat were replaced with hearts, very likely due to the Geneva Convention strictly banning any use of that symbol outside of marking medical personnel, materials, vehicles, and facilities in combat areas. This change was also adopted in all later Japanese reprints and media appearances, permanently replacing the original artwork.
Wow! The Geneva Convention is censoring the waifus. Yeah, I have something for the UN next board meeting. Oh my God!
I've got a take here. I think it's better with the hearts. I understand she's a nurse, and that's the angle here. I think the hearts, it's just cuter. I think it just makes the art better. Maybe that's like a hot take. I'm not sure, but I think the hearts are more fun, to be honest.
You know what? I can buy that. That's fine. I'm just, damn it. I was kind of there. Dang it.
When you said the drugs thing, that was actually very interesting because that was something I don't think I'd ever thought of before when like thinking why they would censor this. But like I actually could see an argument that they did that. In the anime artwork version of this, it actually the needle looks a lot different. And so they technically changed it from like the anime to this like actual version of the artwork as well, which is weird. So I don't know why they did that. Maybe they thought like the other thing was like more suggestive. I don't know. But in any case, you got that one wrong. But it's still one of your favorite waifus, so you can you can keep her in your heart at the end of the day.
Sure, that's what's going on here.
Here's your next one.
So those are guns.
Those are guns. Correct.
With bullets. Coming out of the hands and head of this thing. Mm-hmm. So it's for kids. So we don't want them around guns. So I'm guessing they got turned into knives or blades or something.
Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
Yes.
Okay.
But hold on. The green in the background spiraling with the purple. Kind of looks like some hallucinogens may have been done here, you know? So maybe it's drugs.
It's funny because you're having to figure out where the line is for a lot of this, right? Because like some things might be okay and other things might not be. So you're like, okay, religious symbolism is out. We know that now. But are guns okay?
No. Absolutely not. They're very controversial. But kids do play with toy guns. Like, I mean, the same company that makes Magic the Gathering also has the Nerf guns, I believe. I think that's a brand they own. I'm trying to remember.
They own Nerf?
Maybe. Hasbro? I think so.
It's a toy company,
like,
so
Nerf guns were huge back in the day, but we have laws that the barrels can't look like a gun barrel. They have to have orange on them, and they have to look not like a gun, right? It's not just that it's the guns. It's like what part is not allowed? Did they take the whole guns off and replace them with knives? That would be the safe move. But then there's the or like, are the bullets the thing that just crossed the line, right? By the way, why is the top one not loaded?
That's a very good question. You tell me.
What are you doing up there?
Maybe that's part of the puzzle. Who knows?
Maybe it is. So for me, it's like, this is the first encounter I've had with them using guns, I think. And I'm very much like, do they cut the guns altogether? They have to remove the whole gun to be a kid's thing? Or do you have to take the bullets? Is the bullets the thing that goes over the line? Does that make any sense? And I'm thinking, I don't think that makes sense. I know that you could make some argument that gun plus bullet is the lethal thing, and just playing with empty guns doesn't mean anything. But obviously, if you see a gun shape on a card, the assumption is that it fires a bullet to kill you. You don't always have to see the bullets for that to be true. In a revolver, you kind of have that because it's a revolver, but that's not true of most guns. So I'm like, I'm torn between remove the bullets and remove the guns entirely, and it doesn't make sense. If somebody came to me being like, just remove the bullets and it's fine, I would say you're an idiot. So I think they have to swap the guns. I do.
So the whole thing.
I think the guns have to be swapped into something else is what I would say. And I'm sure that there's a creative way to do it. I don't know exactly what that is on first glance. But obviously, to me, the problem is the 3 gun barrels with the revolvers that are loaded. And you might tell me they just took the bullets, but I don't understand the reasoning. I can't wait to hear it. So I'm going to go with they switched all the guns.
All right. Well, let's see what you think about how they changed it.
Okay.
You're correct. You're correct.
Yeah, it's the creative solution. They went the Nerf gun route.
They went the Nerf gun route. Exactly. That's what they call it.
More flair. Yeah, exactly. More colors, more flair. It doesn't look like a threat. It doesn't look like the gun that threatens people.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So you are correct. You got this one right. I've got a hot take here. I think the other, like the censored barrel dragon looks cooler than the original one. And the reason for that is I feel like the colors are just better. I feel like with the weird, like, old Yu-Gi-Oh art has this like weird gaseous miasma background a lot of the time. I don't know why they do it, but I feel like Barrel Dragon gets lost in like the background in the original art. And I don't know, there's something about like the dark like gray with like the bright contrasting blue that looks really cool. Especially like this card came foil, and it looks like it's just like a very pretty foil card. So I don't know. I've always liked the blue Nerf guns, to be honest. And I'm sure the comments are going to be like just railing on me for that. But I don't know. I think this one's cooler.
Did people play this?
Read the
Coin
card.
3 times? Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls and toss a coin 3 times and destroy it if at least 2 of the results are heads. You can do that on your turn and on the opponent's turn, so you get 2 shots at them.
You can only do it on your turn. This is not a quick effect.
Balls. Oh, because it's not quick effect. See, I know my cards.
Yeah, you do.
There's no way that this is a funny card. There's no way this was that good. Just run a real removal.
This was from the second set ever released. And you were correct. This card never saw play because it was terrible. Yeah. It was cool. It's a cool card. Don't get me wrong. And they have like a bunch of. It's kind of like the ace monster of one of the like sort of villains. Like he's kind of like a side villain. He's not like a main villain. This is like his ace monster. And in the anime, you just like blow shit up. Like he doesn't even have to flip the coin. It just like kills stuff. So it's way better in the anime than it is in the actual game. But I don't know. I like the art of it, if anything. It's a cool collector piece, if anything. But you got it correct. Okay. Next up. Ooh, this one's going to be fun. I like this one. Let's see what you think about this.
What? Okay. Hi, this sword is stabbing. I don't know what this is. It's not
coffin.
A book. It's a coffin?
It's a coffin.
It's a small coffin and a huge sword.
Is it a small coffin or is it a big sword?
Good question. Okay. We've got blood. We got plenty of blood, and we've got the like whatever skull and horns this is.
Mm-hmm.
Blood coming out of a coffin. Why are we stabbing something that's dead and it's still bleeding this way? It must be like undead or something. So my first thought is the blood. Like 100%. Just kids, blood, it's a bit much. It's a lot of blood. So my first thought is all they got to do really is remove the blood. And then my other thought is like, is there something with the skull and the horns? That's the other thing that I'm like, do they not like that? Is that too strong? I don't think so. It seems like there's plenty of that in the game. This one almost looks too easy, so I've got my guard up.
That's the best part about this is that so many of these could be obvious, but because you and I have done so many of these videos together, you know I'm going to try to trick you.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that if you are covering the hundreds of cards that are censored for the different reasons, I bet blood is a rather common one because I remember.
Does Magic have blood?
Does Magic have blood? It's had blood at times. I remember sometime long ago, in ancient times, I was a young CGB, got really into this idea that the Sci-Fi Channel, which was a television network once upon a time. I was
going to say, is that still around?
Probably is. I don't know. But it was new at the time. And it had Saturday morning, like, anime hour or whatever. Like, it was bringing Japanese anime to network TV in America, which, believe it or not, was a pretty big deal at the time. Pretty big deal. And they were running advertisements for it, like, all week. I tuned in to Sci-Fi Network to watch old reruns of Lost in Space. All right? That's what I was watching. And those old black and white, like, people on a planet shows. And so I'm seeing advertisements, and I believe it was for Vampire Hunter D. And I don't know if people have seen this. I don't even know if I'm remembering the correct anime, but I know it was a vampire anime, and I think it was Vampire Hunter D. And I'm seeing these advertisements. It looks so cool. So I get up on my Saturday morning in my pajamas, I get my cereal, and I get in front of the TV, and I'm going to watch this brand new Sci-Fi Network anime thing with Vampire Hunter D. The first 5 minutes of this anime had more blood than I had ever seen in my life. Like, just like the very first sword slash, blood is just like everywhere. It's just blasting everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is this? It was off-putting. It messed with me. I was like, what? This is insane. Why would, no, this isn't how blood works. So, like, that's what I remember. And immediately, and the reason I tell that story looking at this is I'm like, oh yeah, They don't care if blood's in their stuff over there at all. In fact, more the merrier. Jesus Christ. The amount of blood in that anime blew my mind, and I never tuned into it again. I didn't watch anime again for like 20 years. That is a true fact.
That's probably for the best, to be honest.
Yeah. And then Full Metal Alchemist and Death Note got me back in.
Oh my God. All right. We can't get on that. That's oh man, I could yap about that for hours.
Yep. Maybe someday, different yap show. I'm just gonna go with what's right in my face and the scars of my childhood, and I'm gonna say it's the blood.
Let's see if you're correct. Here's the card.
It was the blood.
It was the blood. This is a children's card game. You can't have blood. I was wondering if I could trick you with the coffin potentially. You might think like, oh, that might be like too like, death, right? They might have changed the shape or something like that. But
dude, I can't even tell it's a coffin.
It's funny because they made the eyes red on the like. I feel like that's also kind of intimidating. I'm surprised they did that, but I don't know. Maybe they wanted to still have like some red on it for some reason or another. I just think it's funny that there's someone that works at Konami that their entire job is to take all these cards for one reason or another and just censor them before they come over to the non-Japanese territories. Like that's incredible to me that someone has to do this because, like I said, there's literally hundreds of cards that meet this qualification. But I guess it creates jobs, I guess. Anyway, here's your next one.
They're like, they must be so sensitive over there, and they're right. They're pushing. They know the moms are out there and that they're very discerning. Okay,
it's funny you say that because there are so many people growing up who said their parents actually did not let them play Yu-Gi-Oh because of the fact that there were like all these allusions to like the occult and all these other types of things. So it's even with the censorship, that was still like a just like a common trend growing up, like as like a Yu-Gi-Oh kid. You would hear that all the time. It was very common.
Yeah, you started the video asking me how we handle censorship in the game, and there were some cards that were changed because of what was called the Satanic Panic around the times that happened with Magic the Gathering too. There was a pentagram that was removed from the background of Unholy Strength. There are a few other cards like that got like touched up here and there, but yeah, I remember an article about, I don't remember what magazine it was in, but like people were talking about it. An article that was like Magic the Gathering is evil, and it highlighted the card Demonic Tutor. Who would have thought? Yeah, it was a thing. It happened to both games.
Interesting.
All right, I'm gonna dial in here because I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
You're looking at the Dark Ruler Hades.
Hades?
Not Hades. Hades.
Hades?
And that's not what they censored. I'll give you a hint.
Okay. So Bro's got the Pot of Greed head and the sad stuck in the chest head and an ultra mega skull under that.
This card, the artwork on this card kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie.
What the hell is going on? And apparently that's where your arm is, with the cup. You can have a lot of things in this world. You can have 3 heads. You can have some badass horns. You can bejeweled your own like outfit. You can have this sweet beard. You can have a lot going for you.
You can.
But can you have a glass of red wine with it in your children's card game?
What do you mean? It's fruit juice. It's not red wine. It's fruit juice.
Yeah. Dude, I'm too good at this, man. I'm way too good at this. I'm way too.
You figure it out?
At this. It's not because he's in a sauna. It's because he's got a cup that might be alcohol and or blood. They swapped the cup. They did. They took out the wine glass. Yeah.
You are half right. Let's show you the card.
They made it green.
They made the wine green, but what else is missing?
The horns?
They got rid of the horns. Yep, for any sort of allusions to like the devil or anything like that. They got rid of the horns, which sucks because the horns look so sick. And this is not the only card that features this guy. Like he's in many other cards in old Yu-Gi-Oh! So in all of them, his horns are removed. They took off his horns. It's very sad.
Wow. So I got the halo. I don't associate horns necessarily, especially this type of horn. I don't associate this directly with like demon or the devil. There's a lot of things that
Konami apparently does, and this is not the only card that has lost its horns. Sadly, give this card a read. This is actually a cool card.
Yeah, you're gonna show me some like rhinos with their horns cut off, and I'm gonna be so sad. All right, Dark Ruler had this. That's a 2450. and it's 1600 defense. As long as this card remains face up on the field, negate the effects of effect monsters destroyed by fiend-type monsters on your side of the field as a result of battle. This card cannot be special summoned from the graveyard.
It's very funny that he's the devil and he can't come back from the graveyard. But
that is weird.
It is, yeah. A very cool card though. Like for it wasn't like really played a ton, but for like fiend, if you were gonna play like a fiend like tribal deck, if you will, having this guy out to be able to run over stuff. There's a lot of stuff that triggers in the graveyard, but if it's killed by battle, it doesn't actually trigger. So this card actually had like some very like niche utility, which was actually kind of cool. And he just looks.
So
cool,
it's like. So. Yeah, like counters death triggers.
Basically, yeah. That's the best way to understand it. Yeah, but so you're half right on that one. You get a half point. All right. Gee, I don't know if you're gonna figure this one out, CGB.
I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if this matters anymore in the game. I really hope if I get like one thing really fast and there's another thing, it would be really funny to be like, and what else? See if I can find the what else or not, or if I'm too blind. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Let's have a close look here. What stands out? Did they have to cover up the epic side boob? Probably. It's a children's game.
Children's card game.
Is there anything else here? Anything else just jumping off the page here? Is it too weird to have a hottie with crow feet and hands? Is that too weird?
This is the Harpy Lady. I will let you know.
The Harpy Lady. Yeah, let me. Now I'm going to be double checking everything for the other thing. Okay, I got it. Yes to the side boob. It had to be covered up. We had to chill that out. But also, we can't have feet pics. People get too weird. We had to cover the feet. We had to cover the feet. This is the kind of thing that just drives them over the edge. We had to protect the footies out there.
Those talons, yeah. Put her on OnlyFans for sure. All right.
Yep. Absolutely. Gotta bottle that up. But,
all right.
But not
so
really.
Side boob and feet.
I think it's just a side boob, to be honest. And I mean, I guess how you want to categorize that. Like, did they turn this into a onesie instead of a whatever it is here? I guess it's still technically a onesie, but did they just fill in from the neck down and cover the midriff as well? I would guess so. It's like the easier solution. So I'll say they just turned this into a more appropriate evening wear outfit for going out on the town as a Harpy Lady. That's what I'll say.
Well, here's the card. Let's see.
Timo, where's the card?
What do you mean? I sent you the card.
Simo, where's the card? This isn't it. They didn't do anything.
You're right. They didn't do anything. This was actually a mistake that they missed when they initially printed this card. So the first versions of Harpy Lady from the very first set, which was Metal Raiders, I think. Second set, Metal Raiders. The Harpy Lady was not censored. But they quickly amended that in all future sets that they printed Harpy Lady, and you're correct. They basically gave her like a jumpsuit or like a onesie, like you were saying.
Yep. Okay.
It's funny. They missed this one, though. They missed this one.
How valuable is this card?
Not at all.
No? Nobody pounced and tried to buy them up because it was a mistake?
There are some better ones that are probably much more valuable, I will say. Anyway.
Better ones.
Better ones. Okay. We might be seeing those later on. Anyway, here's your next one.
Unless you're really into Harpy feet, then there's no better one.
That's true. That's true. Only talons. Okay. Only claws.
Yeah,
only claws.
That's the one. Only claws. So, okay. I am looking at...
We are going to have male sex appeal and female sex appeal, CGB. We are about equality on this channel.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Do your demographics reflect that?
You know?
Like mine do? What up, 3%? Thank you for hanging in there and putting up with our absolute bullshit. So, this dude riding a shark.
This is the legendary fisherman.
In a green loincloth with the dorsal fin just so. What the heck is going on here? Okay, so you're riding what looks like might be an orca, actually, like a killer whale, and you're trying to spear small fish. Like, the whale isn't going to chase them off. This is crazy. What is the point? Legendary fisherman. What got censored? Obviously, we can't have the kids aspiring to have muscles. That would just be terrible. Can you imagine American health if we idolize people like this? You think this guy goes to McDonald's? That's right. Okay. So we've got kind of tattoos on the body here.
Okay.
That or just really strong eye makeup and lipstick. I'm trying to think if there's anything like ceremonial or classic, culturally specific about the lines on the chest and the abs. So that's coming to mind. I don't think it can be the harpoon. It looks very sharp, but I mean, this is like how many swords are in kids' games? There's no way it's the harpoon. It can't be that. I'm looking at the whale shark. A red eye. We just saw a red eye added to the dagger. Like, that's not too menacing. The teeth, that tells you what kind of an animal it really is. That's fine. How do we feel about green loincloths?
How do we feel about green loincloths?
Is the loincloth a bit much? The idea that there's no underwear, is that just... Are there people who can they not play a proper game of Yu-Gi-Oh? Do they just like throw the game as soon as they see that? Did we have to put this dude in pants? I mean, I'm kind of torn because like part of me is like the cultural thing with the lines on the chest might be a thing, but I'm not very familiar with the culture, so it also may not be. And then for the loincloth, it's like it doesn't seem crazy to me at all or even close.
Okay.
So it's probably that.
Go with the loincloth.
Am I? So how would you fix it? Do you have to put pants on this dude? I'm trying to think of other art. I feel like I've definitely seen six packs. I've definitely seen buff stuff. Have I seen legs and loincloth? Have I seen like pro wrestler attire? Like pro wrestling's a thing here. Pro wrestling's a thing in Japan. And like people like they wrestle in the
That's
in
Japan
kind of
though.
these.
That's Japan.
Yeah, but they wrestle in that here too.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go with what's on the chest and maybe even on the face as like some kind of a tribal culture thing that I'm not very familiar with. I'm going to go with that as the thing that had to change, although I don't feel good about it. I don't think man,
instead
is
of
it
the loincloth.
Okay, here's what it is.
Okay.
I got it. Do you see right off the fin where there's that tiny bit of like above the thigh loincloth? It's just that.
Just that.
All they did was cover in that. Everything else is fine. Yeah. It's
Final answer?
I'm taking a long shot on this one. I'm saying all they did was color that in so that because it's just a tad too high. It's like when a woman's skirt is just that little bit too high for church or whatever, like people would say. So yeah, that's what I'm going with. That's it.
All right. Take a look.
Okay, it's not it. What am I looking at? What? It's the tip of the harpoon.
You said it too. As soon as you said it, I'm like, he's gone. He's not going to get it.
What?
It's a harpoon.
How do you catch a fish with that?
That's what I'm saying.
What does that do? What are you doing? Are you trying to like clean a whale's ears with a Q-tip? What is this? What happened? Is it that they're gonna stab a fish? Is that like the, oh my God, stabbing the fish is bad? What the? Dude. No, I need the explanation. Tell me.
I don't have one for you. They didn't like that he had a harpoon. And they gave
comments. I need the real explanation. You guys always have all the facts. You know everything.
They know everything.
Your perfect 2020 non-hindsight vision, 100% hit rate. Comments, get in there. I have to know.
According to the Wikipedia, it says the international version of this card has its harpoon redrawn to look more like a Japanese training spear. I did not realize that they have training spears, and that's what they look like. But so that's no one who is outside of Japan probably realizes that's what that is. So great.
Legendary fisherman uses a fucking training spear? I mean, at least change the name to the noob fisherman.
Noob fisherman.
Am I crazy?
You're not crazy.
Right.
No, you're not crazy. Like
this one has upset me, and this video has just gone way downhill because we went from having a reason for things to this, and this video is about to get unhinged. I can tell. I know where we go from here.
We still have a lot.
Not good.
We still have a lot more to cover. Here's your next one.
You guys can turn it off now. You guys, you can turn it off now if you don't.
It's all
like
downhill from here. It's all downhill from here.
Okay, so what do we have here? We have a rabid demon panda kicking a table. This is what happens at game night in my house.
This is what you just did.
Yeah. We have the mom and the kid crying, screaming. We know it's the mom because of the apron. That's how we know, right? Because that is how you show what somebody is.
Yeah, of course.
You know what? Western audience, proud independent women, they probably remove the apron. I'm gonna go right. We'll just go right there.
Just right to it. Final answer?
No.
Okay.
But watch it be right. All right. So, all right. Now that we are in absolute nonsense territory, let's figure some stuff out. Dad doesn't like what? Dad just tried whatever this grass stuff is and thinks it's not flavorful, so has kicked the whole table, terrifying the family. What a horrible thing. What a horrible father. And then, like, oh my God, this face. We got all the red on the face. Oh, it's terrifying. Absolutely nasty. So I think that clearly if you are the person looking at this, trying to make it, better for a Western audience, first of all, you got to change the food on the table. Nobody eats this grass stuff. Okay. Nobody eats this fish stuff. What is that? Chopsticks? Nobody knows what that is. What is that? Sushi? Nobody cares. We got to put a cheeseburger and fries on this table, okay? All right, and some mashed potatoes and probably some American apple pie. That's what'll sell this to the audience. Okay. So probably change the whole menu. All right. So they swapped the whole menu. They put what? Let's see. What did homeboy here eat that made him so mad? What would just push one way over the line? We got to replace this leaf thing because nobody eats that. Maybe a corn on the cob.
Okay.
Good old American corn on the cob. That's what we like here in America.
We do like our corn.
We swap all that. And after you've done all that, after you've changed the menu completely, you have to take the apron off. Okay, we can't be doing gender stereotypes like that in the U.S. Okay, we can't be like showing mama bear by having an apron. That's insensitive. That's very stereotypy. So that's got to go. And then finally, to keep the kids from getting scared, do we have to remove the fangs? Are people gonna? Like some sensitive kids who have had it bad, man. They've had it bad. It's like, this looks too much like my dad. So that maybe they got to cover these fangs or these claws. That's probably the right answer. But now we're just on meme answers only. So I'm going with changing the menu and taking off the apron.
Final answer?
Yes.
Here you go.
Okay, same menu. That's a problem. They took the family out entirely. I'm part right.
You were part right. They took away the apron, and they took away everyone else who was near the apron as well.
This
one is actually, I did not know this actually prior to filming this video. This one's kind of interesting. So when this card was released internationally, the other pandas in the artwork were removed to avoid referencing domestic violence due to a request from Kevin Tuart, who is actually currently like the head of development for Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is actually like quoted somewhere on like an old forum, as a matter of fact. So at first I was like, it's a Wikipedia type page. Like, is that actually true? Apparently it's sourced, so like that might actually be true, as a matter of fact. So that's interesting. That's interesting.
No, I didn't think about it, but it makes sense. If you take the family out of it, it's no longer as terrifying and problematic. So yeah, that's not the solution I thought of, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
One. And it was an interesting one. Yeah, like I said, it's funny because I've known about a lot of these like censored cards because I've been around this game for quite some time. But I learned actually some new things from getting the stuff to make this video, as a matter of fact. So it was interesting. All right, here's your next one.
Okay, we got a samurai. Cool outfit, good armor. I don't know why you wear sticks of dynamite, all over yourself, but there you go. And we got some sweet boots, and that looks a little bit like you're smoking. That's what that looks like. Looks a little bit like you're smoking a cigarette or something. I think it's pretty clear it's a firecracker. I can't tell. I'm trying to zoom in. I can't tell what's sticking out of your mouth, but it definitely looks pretty close to being a cigarette. So let's just take the thing sticking out of the mouth away.
And
then you can just...
Correct. That is exactly what it is. I did not know that this card actually got censored, as a matter of fact. I did not know he had the cigarette like in his mouth before. So that was a new one for me. So we both learned something on this one.
Yep. Easy mode.
Easy one. Easy one. The fun of this video is we can go through a lot of cards because you don't have to spend too much time on a lot of them. Speaking of which, here's your next one.
You should have told me that before I started finding ways to fill time with anime stories. Anyway. Okay. What do we got here? She's excited to be here. It has some light coming out of the hands, some scarves that look like arms almost popping off. What's wrong with this? So I'm tempted to say the midriff.
Okay.
But there's also shoulders in this too.
Okay.
Shoulders and midriff seem to be sticky points.
She's pretty buff.
Very buff. Honestly, like I wouldn't put
toned.
those arms away either. Yeah. You should get to show those arms. I'm looking for anything else. Do we have anything religious? I don't see it. Do they have to take the light away from behind you because you're too divine? There's no way. That's
okay.
crazy.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
No, that's crazy. There is a lot going on in this piece. The scarves are strange, but I don't think they're a problem. When you're looking at it with a censorship eye, all right, the hands have the appropriate number of digits. Just had to double check. There was some mistake. Maybe you censor a mistake that got through or something.
Maybe.
It really does feel like you just covered a belly and maybe the shoulders.
Okay. Final answer?
So I'm trying to look at this as like this person, if you're making it for kids and you just don't want to be controversial and you're worried about some mom in the Bible Belt throwing a fit, like that's probably what you do. But it doesn't make a lot of sense because there's no way they're going to do this for all these characters. And I've seen plenty of other characters I feel like that doesn't apply to. So that's the thing that gives me pause. So I'm struggling because it doesn't feel right given other things I'm pretty sure I've seen. But maybe this was a certain time where they were trying to do that. So sure, let's cover her up and put her in church appropriate attire. Sure.
Take a look.
Let's do that. Okay, cover the belly.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The belly's too much. The belly's
surprise
too
me.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Give this card a read, though. She's pretty good.
Okay, Lumina Lightsworn Summoner as 1,000 attack, 1,000 defense. Once per turn, you can discard one card and target one level 4 or lower Lightsworn monster in your graveyard to special summon it. Once per turn, during your end phase, send the top 3 of your deck to the graveyard. You get a little mill, you get a little reanimation.
Yeah,
That's
so
nice.
You're very familiar with Tier Element. Lightsworn is like the Tier Element of 2008, basically. It was a milling archetype that had a lot of very strong cards. Lumina was actually limited, as a matter of fact, back in the day. She was very good. It was nowhere near as good as Tier Limit. It was very much so like a casino deck where like you're hoping to high roll and get a lot of mills, but very good card. Very good card, and did see a lot of play.
I'm
And got
curious,
censored
is there a market or a market difference between like getting the Japanese version of some of these like censored cards?
Well, it's funny because we are not allowed to play with Japanese cards here in the TCG.
Okay, but do people still try to get them?
Probably. I would say so.
Okay.
Just like from a
Right.
collector perspective. I'm not sure like what the going rate is for some of these. One cool thing that Konami had started doing a few years back is they do what's called the Lost Art Collection, where they do finally take some of these uncensored versions of cards. And if you spend like $40, I think, or $30 at your local game store on Yu-Gi-Oh product, you get that as like a bonus in addition to that. And so they cycle out what the card is like on a monthly basis. So some of these uncensored cards have actually started to make their way to the States in English, as a matter of fact. So it was a very cool idea when they started to get a bit more lax with the censorship. But they still do censorship stuff, so it's very weird.
That is strange. But I mean, it kind of, on its own, it kind of does define that there was a market, right? Like, that's how you kind of know. Like, it's like, okay, well, we're just gonna handle it ourselves. We're gonna get the good vibes from it.
All right, here's your next one.
What is that? So they put, is that a PlayStation 5 in a microwave? What's going on? Is that the problem? The H and the O, what does that stand for, I wonder?
What does that stand for?
I'm not sure. I feel like I should. Like, what is this? What's going on? It's probably not a video game system as much as I want to make jokes about it. And what would that stand for in Japan? What would pushing these buttons do? What would it mean? Is it off and on? Is it calling me a hoe? What is happening? You think so?
Yeah.
And then there's the vent in the middle. Hot and open. Heat and oven. My first thought is like, this doesn't make sense to me. And there are two possibilities. Either I'm an idiot and I'm going to be like, well, duh, in a minute. And that's totally fine. That's what we do on the internet. This happens. These are just videos. They're just entertainment. They don't lock me into a permanent state of stupidity, no matter how dumb I am.
Not at all.
All right. Yeah, no matter what you guys think of me, I love me. That's what's important. So it's fine. I might be too stupid to get this. And you guys will laugh later. It might be one of those things I should have known for years and just never learned because all I do is play Magic and sit in my room. That's fine. It just doesn't translate. If other people are like me and they're like, what's the H, what's the O? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Like, this is a common appliance in Japan, but here in America, we have a different appliance or we have a different things written on the appliance or it has a different function. Then we're just going to be like, what does that even mean? We don't know. I have no idea. So my thinking is that they changed the letters. Maybe removing them, maybe adding something else, or maybe making it make more sense for the audience.
Okay.
So
take a look.
Yeah, let's see it.
You're correct.
Yep. Remove
You're
the
correct.
letters.
We can't be calling kids a hoe, right?
Can't be calling those children a hoe. What does that mean? What is it actually?
Honestly, there's nothing in the article or the page that says what the H and the O is supposed to stand for. So this card is it's a battery man. This whole archetype, they're all different batteries. So it's like AA, AAA. I swear to God, they have literally every battery under the sun. And funny enough, this archetype was actually like not terrible, but I do not know what the H and the O stand for. So anyone who like lives in Japan or knows Japanese culture, if they want to like explain this one, I'd be curious as well. This is another card I did not know was censored, as a matter of fact. So I would be interested to learn as well. Comments, you know everything. Let us know. Please
bring it on.
All right. You're about to witness the peak of physical perfection. Behold.
Dear God. The pot of greed dude is looking so fit.
This is the avatar of the pot. I know how much you love Pot of Greed, so I thought I'd show you his perfect form.
Yeah, that dude just drew two. That's me every time I draw two.
That's how I feel too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, turn two Ristic study. This is what Simo was doing off camera, baby. It was too hot. We couldn't show it to you. Oh my goodness, he just wouldn't stop posing. All right. So what had to change? What had to change? I guess there's no such thing as too many muscles.
Not in our game. Not in our game.
Not in this. Not here. So it wasn't the loincloth on the fisherman, but let's just say this one is a bit more, or a bit less, I guess we could say.
Yeah, he's got like a Speedo thong thing going on.
I am guessing the amount of inner thigh here is not really acceptable. I'm guessing we added at least 50% to each side here on the shorts.
Oh yeah, here you go.
That's my prediction.
Give this card a read though. This is a
towel.
This is a funny card.
They threw a towel on him. The avatar of the pot is a rock effect. By sending one pot of greed from your hand to the graveyard, draw 3 from your deck. So, by sending one pot of greed from your hand to the graveyard. Yeah, I bet this card did really well after Pot of Greed was banned.
I bet.
Do they bother like banning cards like this or just let them be legal?
No, they're just legal because like, you know, who's going to play them, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
No one ever played this card even when Pot of Greed was legal for context, so.
Yeah, why would you?
Why would you? Exactly. All right, here's your next
cards one. Better. All right. We have is this an elephant? Kind of a creature?
It's a tapir. Tapir.
A tapir. Mm-hmm. We have a drunk tapir. What could be the problem?
What could be the problem, CGP?
Yeah. So one bottle, two bottles, and then this can, this can, this can, this can, and this can lid.
This was me when we were doing the pendulum episode.
Probably this beaker. That's true. Probably this beaker over here. You know what? Remove all of the beverage containers, and just now it's a sleeping whatever you called it. Terrapin?
Exactly. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah, he's sleeping. Taking a nap.
Look
Maybe
what they
remove
did.
the drool. You can keep the drool. Okay. Pillows. Yes,
Pillows.
of course. Pillows.
Exactly.
Yep.
Who
Yep.
needs alcohol?
Yep.
Just give him pillows.
Yep. Even the beaker had to go. Yes.
I will say,
yeah.
this card is very good, as a matter of fact. Give this one a read.
So its XZ's effect is you gotta get rid of 2 level 4 monsters. Once per turn during your standby phase, detach 1 material. If you cannot destroy it, this attack position card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target this attack position card with card effects. While this card is face-up defense position, change all face-up monsters on the field to defense position. Also negate the activate effects of monsters that were in defense position when that effect was activated. I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of... I guess it lets you punch through, right? Is that the thing?
You're primarily using it for the defense effect, as a matter of fact. So this is a stall card. So if you're in a situation where you want to slow the game down or put your opponent in a position where it makes them very difficult to play the game, because while he's in defense position, everything gets turned to defense position and then their effects are negated. So he puts them all to sleep. And then during your turn, when you're ready to make a push, you can turn him to attack position. Now your stuff's no longer going to be negated, and you can kind of do your thing.
Sure.
You can only do it for 2 turns, because after you can't detach more material, he'll destroy himself. But it's a very cool utility card that actually does see quite a bit of play, as a matter of fact. This was a very good card on release, and still is today, actually. It sees modern play, as a matter of fact.
Was the card name the same in Japan? The terribly tired tapir. Okay.
I don't know if that was like the exact translation, but I think it was like something similar to that.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know if he was like the drunk tapir or something.
So tired. Yeah.
All right, here's your next one.
We got some kind of a living dead doll in a coffin, sitting up with injuries. I mean, is this the blood? Are we doing blood things again?
Are we doing blood things again?
Do we have blood problems again? How do we feel about a doll in a coffin? I don't think that's part of the problem. They sold living dead dolls in toy stores. I don't think the coffin's a problem. I think we're on the blood again. I think it's the blood. Let's go with the blood.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Take a look. You are half right on this one.
Okay. Oh, it is the coffin?
It was the coffin
now you're
this
in
time.
a gift box?
Yep.
Weird.
I don't know why coffins were fine before, and now in this case it's not fine. But yeah, it was the blood too. It was the blood too. But the coffin was also changed, which is I was kind of shocked by that. That was weird.
I'm confuzzled. That is strange. What the heck? Okay, I guess the coffin.
The coffin.
Right. Dead kids. Dead kids are too much. Got it.
Here's your next one.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of problems.
There's a lot with this one. There's a lot with this one.
Oh, dude. Huh? So this art showed up at the one guy at Konami, you know, whose job it is to do this. This art showed up and is like, okay, gonna be a long one today. Clear my schedule, you know, cancel my noon appointment. Yeah. Okay. We got a cleavage check-in. Let's go back. How much cleavage has been censored so far? Not the pot of greed, guys. That's for sure. I mean, the harpy, but that was more. Other than that, it's been very... You haven't shown me the waifuest of waifus.
I haven't. Maybe that's intentional.
All right. So do we have to cover that up? I mean, honestly, like, I hope not. The world is a better place when we can just acknowledge that's real. All right. So what else is going on? The guillotine is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to cover that up? Is that too intense? Why is the other side of the guillotine red? Just to absolutely mess with you from a color standpoint?
Maybe. I like it. I think it's cool.
Maybe. It is a terrifying card. We also have really high thigh on the leg.
Okay.
Has that been a problem so far? High thigh, we'll call it. I mean, it wasn't a problem for the fishermen.
That's
Wasn't
true.
a problem for the nurse. Okay. I don't think it's, I mean, this is a lot of leg, but I don't think it's that. I mean, so are we really just covering the belly on this one? That would be so, considering what's going on. I feel like that, I feel like whoever's out there being like, you try to put yourself in the mind of the Karen.
The Karen mindset.
Yeah. The middle-aged white mom at home who's really protective, right? Somewhere in the Midwest, there are so many of them, and is looking at this and is like, "Ooh, I don't know if I want you playing this game. Her belly is showing. That's not. Come on, that's not close to it. There is something very terrifying here about the guillotine.
Sure.
And I don't know if it changes so we haven't gotten into like whether or not this changes the card's function or its name or anything too much, but like for me,
it doesn't for any of them. I'll give you that.
Okay. I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think you have to take out the guillotine. I think that's the terrifying thing to a young audience. I think in this one, it might also be the belly, but I think if you're covering up the belly in this, like that, it's missing you're missing the plot. You've really lost the plot. If you're covering up, if you want to say that the cleavage and the belly got covered up, I'll be like, that's fine. But I think you also have to take out the guillotine. It's too terrifying.
Okay.
It's too, this one is haunting. This is not something I would want a kid using, and it's not because of any of the skin. So I'm going to say in the Karen mind, it's the guillotine.
Okay, let's take a look. You were almost right on the money. This one's very interesting.
Wow.
So they swapped the guillotine for a tree that she's tied to. They completely changed the woman entirely. They did touch up the cleavage. They got rid of the high thigh, as you could tell as well. You see like her leg. And now there's like these two bodyguard guys that are like also watching from like the other side instead of the guillotine.
What the hell is that? Why are these, dude, the guy trying to save her's over here. What are they even doing right now? These are these they can't even guard this tree. They're like giving her privacy to yell at this dude's hand that's outstretched. I don't know, man. This is bizarre. I'm picturing that this guy I think it's a guy's hand. It feels like a guy's hand is tied to another tree, but somehow has one hand free, right?
Yeah,
and they're just Romeo and Julieting really hard and trying to reach each other. And the guards are just like, Jesus Christ, they've been doing this for 4 hours. When
crazy change though, right?
Yes. I feel good about I actually feel good about that one.
I think you were almost like right on there. You identified all the things that they changed. So I will give you a point for that one. I'll give you a point for that one.
Thank you.
All right. We only got a few left here. Here you go.
We have a transformer.
It's
turned from a really old aircraft into whatever the hell this is. What the heck? Okay. I even like it almost looks like an America Stars and Stripes coming out of the cloud in the upper right.
Yeah.
Just a little bit like, here we go.
America.
I'm here now. So they took out the bombs descending from the pelvic region.
Why would they do such a thing? Why do you think
there's a couple reasons. There's a couple reasons.
Go on.
Some I don't need to say, and the other is just straight up putting like an item of absolute just mass death and destruction in the game at all.
You could say it's his weapon of mass destruction.
It's located. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Don't go swinging your weapons of mass destruction around in this manner. I think would be just a good hint.
Yeah, you got this one right.
Okay. Good God. Like, what the hell? Yes, there you go. Well played. Jesus.
They're only getting worse.
Swinging in the wind, baby.
They're only just getting worse. Here's your next one.
All right.
What could possibly be wrong with this one?
See, Simo, this is where I'm glad you trust me. I'm glad you trust me, Simo.
I'm glad
that
too.
You feel like you know me well enough to put me on your platform, on your channel under these circumstances, to not just fuck it all up for both of us. Because the memer in me really wants to play around right now, but I'm not gonna.
I cannot believe they did this one. I cannot believe they did this.
It's really easy to put that arm anywhere else.
Yeah. Yep. And here's what they did. Here's what they changed it. Now he's pointing. Now he's pointing.
Sure. Oh yeah, solved it.
Yep.
Now it's like, actually, that's what that is now.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Oh my god.
We can move on from that one. Here's our next one.
Okay. So Cyclops here had an idea. Some ball of light appeared in the hand.
This card is called Faustian Bargain.
Interesting. There's 3 fingernails on each finger. Little poles shooting out of you. It looks like a loincloth with some kind of a hieroglyphic display on it. I don't know. Some language. This one. Then you've got all the like teethy membral things around the black hole of a mouth. I'm going to go with this.
Okay.
The thumbs look like, well,
Yep.
they look like they look.
Yep.
And
Yep.
those thumbs are a bit of yeah.
He's got some dick thumbs.
Yeah.
He's got some dick thumbs. Yep.
Big dick thumb energy.
I did not know this card has been
That
censored.
took me a minute. But it's there.
When I saw this on the list, I'm like, how did this card get censored? And then when I saw it, I was like, oh, I see.
Yep. Sure.
Yep.
The artist knew.
They had to have known.
They had to have known.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's how I feel.
All you have to do is not make the last part of the thumb that exact shape. Yep. You're good. Oh my god. Okay.
All right. Your last one.
You're right. This is a really fun
That was
video.
a fun one. That was a fun one. Here's your last one. We saved one of the best for last.
Oh, this is the the girl, magical girl.
Dark Magician Girl. You are correct.
Dark Magician Girl. Yep. The pentagram. It's right there. They had to remove that in Magic the Gathering from some things, so that stands out to me.
Yep. So you said it.
That's my immediate thought. So the pentagram stands out. I don't know what the language or what they're trying to write behind and if they change that for some reason, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it just doesn't translate and they wanted to do something different that would translate to the American audience. There's definitely cleavage here, but it's marginal compared to what I would assume we're going to see in some places. And damn it, you can't cover up the waifus, Cimo. I stand by it. Not that much. Come on now. How are we going to sell this terrible card? So, the pentagram. I'm sticking with that.
Final answer?
Yeah.
You're right. It was the pentagram, but they also did give her breast reduction surgery.
Oh, see, there's got to be a different market here. It's got to one has to
honestly,
be more sought after than the other.
They have also reprinted versions of Dark Magician Girl in different incarnations. They actually did one recently at the time of recording this video, and even in that one, I have not shown you many of the cleavage cards. There are plenty of them.
No, you haven't.
And I will say, on all of them, they either cover them up entirely or they just like completely erase the fact that they have anything there whatsoever. They are
my God.
They are very strict about it. Yeah. Children's card game. Children's card game.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's one thing kids don't know exists, it's that.
It's, of course, 100%. No one would ever know that. So that's it. I have a few at the end here for everyone who stuck around. You don't have to guess these because these ones are completely different and there's like no way you would figure them out. But I thought it'd be fun to show you. So this is the uncensored art of a card called Fiend Comedian.
Okay. Is it the licking the knife? Is that too much?
This is the non-Asian version of Fiend Comedian.
Whoa! It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. It was the goldfish in the hair. That was the thing that had to change.
Yeah.
You can't have a goldfish up there. Jesus. Gonna get sued by what's that company that makes the snacks? The crackers. I think it's just goldfish.
Yeah. Here is a card called Final Flame. I can't imagine why they censored this one.
I don't know. Somebody's getting burnt alive and somehow
on a
already
crucifix.
lost their lower body on a cross. Yeah, that's
This is what we got. This is what we got.
Really? I mean, that's still definitely evocative of somebody getting absolutely roasted. But
but
you gotta get the cross out of there.
I think the fact that it's also not a person might help too. That's more like a demon.
Sure.
Thing. And here is the art for a card called Parasite.
Okay, big old carrot coming out of the mouth there might be a bit much for kids. everything
They just
about
gave
this
us the
is probably
Parasite.
a bit much for kids.
They just gave us the Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought I'd save some of these fun ones because you would never figure these ones out because these ones are just like good, like they're just the card is like completely different. But I thought it'd be fun to show you at the end here. But yeah, so censorship in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is quite a thing. Like I said, the list is hundreds of cards long. Anytime there are some that I could show you that are like the most minor of differences. Like maybe the shorts on Injection Fairy Lily, for instance, might go like an inch longer. For instance, like that is like to the degree that they will censor stuff. Wow. It is sometimes ridiculous and almost like you can't even tell that they censored it at all. But I wanted to give you ones that you could figure out, and I thought this was actually a very interesting video out of all the ones that we've done.
Yeah, this is absolutely wild. I didn't know there was nearly this much, but it is a fun game. I feel like I really got into my corpo mindset, you know. I'm ready for the high-rise office. Put me in charge.
If people really like it too, we can do a part 2 because there are so many cards that I didn't show you that we could still do, and it would be interesting. So let us know down below if you liked it, and you know, as always, if you got other fun ideas, I do look at the comments. So this was a comment from a fan, so I thought, you know, we should oblige them every now and then.
Yeah, thanks for this. Be gentle.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout the patrons for all their continued support. So shouts to Shout1317, Tim00x3, MBT Play Medolce, Moto, Cameron L. Smith, The Synchro Guy, Pony Stark, Dan the Man Hoban, Little Fadeleaf, Draconic, Brian Dancer of Class 7, Dylan Rare Hunter, JW11860, Flannel Daddy, literally all of the guinea pigs, Cheeks McLapperty, Stolfin Amethyst, MBT canceled by community soon, canceled by all committees soon, canceled by all players soon, Wonder Waffle, MBT and Nimnims 1, Boxer Brief, Fueled Night of Passion, Daniel Howell, Electrician of the Ice Barrier, Arco, and the Nova 129. Thank you again so much for watching, and we will see you next time.